Hello, one and all. It is I, your overlord. Nice to see that there is a whopping 4 of you already in the chat. Hello. How are we doing? As you can tell, I'm by myself. So lonely. Just going to have to listen to me talk at you for an hour. So hopefully, hello Jessie, how are we doing? And yes, the thumbnail is quite something to behold. I didn't create that. That was the wonderful and amazing Bex who, with the power of witchcraft, wizardry, and probably AI, has managed to achieve such wonderful beans I have woken up with. But they have sustained me through today, and it's currently 5 p.m. where I am, so we're doing good. Honestly, I've been doing a lot of things that are not drum related. Can't lie. Mostly gardening. And that's quite an achievement considering we don't have a garden. Hello, Salok. How are we doing? Arjit. See, I'm not as good at pronouncing people's names as ILONA is. Love your lessons. Please continue the great work. I will. Don't you worry. Rotisserie pancake. What are you doing up at 2 a.m.? Go to bed. I'm your mother now. Go to bed. So we got New York from Minds 2000. Hello. Lynn. Hello. How are we doing? So you may have noticed, like I said, we have no ILONA. I'm missing my co-host. However, don't you worry, lads. I have come up with an ingenious solution. I've just cloned myself. It's very simple, really. You see? You just... And she appears. It's quite an achievement. I know. It's pretty cool. In fact, she can get closer to the screen than I can right now. Yeah, I know. I said it. I might even tell people that you smell too. They don't have smell-o-vision. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Can you tell I had a bit too much fun this morning? Yeah, you can go now. It's fine. The joke's over. Yeah, soz. In your own time. Thanks. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got the thumbs up as well. Fantastic. Yeah, this morning I had a bit of a brainwave. Like I said, I woke up with beans. I was full of it. So if you want a drum-related question answered with someone who's full of beans, maybe not so much knowledge, but full of beans, then you're talking to the right gal. Lynn, I was going to ask, are we still preggo? I'm assuming so, considering you just said the baby kicking my ribs. Oh my God, you poor thing, you must be getting bruised up. Well, either a future drummer or a future runner. Only time will tell. Let me just catch up with reading. I have too many things on the go, but I appreciate all of your videos. Thank you. Beyond the craze. My playing has improved over several months. Thanks for everything that you do. Thank you. You are so welcome. We've got Lisa Bell. Hello. Neil Shire. I'm going to say yes. Amazing. Yes. Hello. Salok. Beans. I'm so lost. Don't worry. It's just an English term. If you're not English, then full of beans just means full of energy. Rotisserie pancake. That baby needs to be taught a lesson. It hasn't learned anything yet. Let it be free before it's suppressed by the world and society. Well, anyway, shall we talk about drums? What's been going on with you, lovely lot? Because like I just said, I haven't really been doing a fat lot with drumming at the moment. In fact, today, literally right before this live stream, I was editing one of our new courses that's going to be coming up, which is exciting. We've got a new format going on. It's going to be good. But the sudden urge, the same one that I've been getting for the last month now, to every day go down to the garden centre, it's honestly starting to become a bit of a problem, especially now I've noticed that the Range, which is a shop we have here in the UK, which, surprise, surprise, stocks a range of stuff, actually does garden stuff much cheaper than the garden centre. So I'm living my best life. And even better, on the way to said garden centre, I drove past a skip, as one does. And anyone who knows me knows this is going to be the most me sentence I've ever said. I saw a pallet in a skip And I did not see a palette. No, I saw potential. So on the way back, what did I go do? I knocked on their door and I was like, can I have that palette? And they were like, sure. Yeah, fine. Come back and get the other ones if you want. I was like, I might well do. Because I'm going to make either a planter or a step or just a little table outside our front door out of it. You can't tell me I'm not living my best life. Anyway, back to you guys. I'm so warm right now because I've currently been denailing and pulling apart a pallet, which is made of probably balsa wood, so it probably isn't the best building material. But alas, I'm getting out my frustrations with hammers, which is almost as good as drums. So where are we at? We're currently talking about a very violent baby who hasn't even been born yet. Give him a break. Salok started learning in February this year and struggling with rudiments. Yeah, progress is slow. Rudiments progress is slow. It's one of those things where you just got to keep cracking on with it, and over time you will get better at it. And one thing that especially now I teach, I notice more and more, is you have to just find a fill or something, one specific thing that utilizes, sorry if you get some background noise of fast cars going past, it's a nice day, and there's loads of fancy cars, but find literally one fill that you like the sound of that uses a rudiment and just get really good at it. Have an application for your rudiments, otherwise it gets very dry very quickly. I wonder why if I'm on one. Oh, didn't even finish the sentence. Sounds very ADHD right now. I think I'm just caffeinated. I think that's what's happening. Thelma Bradley. Okay, full of beans mean full of energy. Yes. Thanks so much for your wonderful teaching. You are so welcome. I'm glad that I've helped so many of you out. Just catching up. Lynn is currently working on metronome and whole notes and half notes instead of quarter notes. Ooh. Honestly, in drumming, unless you're reading some very specific, music, often older music, you don't really come across whole notes and half notes, if you want to call them that. I'm trying to think of what the breve and semi-breves. So I don't know where that's practical. Lynn, did you say you do orchestral percussion? Have I got that right in my head? Something like that. Because why, pray tell, are you learning whole and half notes? I am interested. Having Jesse, full of beans in the US literally means you've eaten too many beans, a dangerous situation. Honestly, I've done that too recently. Yesterday, I made some posh baked beans, which I have been nomming on. And yeah, I'm not going to tell you about the gas situation. You don't need to know. You don't need to know. Julie C asks, how often should rudiments be practiced as a beginner? I had quite a, regimented use of rudiments as I was developing as a player because I did grades. So I did Trinity Guildhall, which basically means and I don't know if the other ones do this, but you learn rudiments and then you learn pieces. You have a few short, 4-bar long, maybe. I can't even remember how long they were. Just kind of rudiments-based phrases that you learn and practice and implement your rudiments with. So you literally go, grade 1 is like single strokes. I don't know if it might do doubles and paradiddles, but not at any great speed. And then it also has pieces in that grade that use often those rudiments as well. So you kind of learn how to integrate it as you play. And that's something if you can create that for yourself, I suggest you do that if you can, which is what I was saying earlier about, making sure that you have one fill that utilizes the rudiment you want to be working on to make sure you have an application for it. Apologies, guys, if I do miss some of the comments that come through. I'm just going to pick what my brain sees and answer them. So don't be afraid to ask questions more than once if I don't answer them. Vanessa Martin, are you one of our Crash Course students? I think you might be. I feel like you are. Thank you, and Chris Keeling, for all your support. That's very kind. I'm sure Chris would also say the very same thing. I'm glad you're getting on well with everything. Ah, Lynn says about the whole and half notes that the clicks are on whole and half notes. That is a great exercise. One I don't do anywhere near enough. I much prefer the microscopic 16th note click, just because why not? Just get loud after a while. Taylor Sweeney, I think, did I read this comment or I just read it in my head? Came back to drumming after many years and my playing is sounding quite choppy. Any tips to work on this? Metronome, metronome, metronome. Yeah, metronome, metronome, metronome. And also just playing more frequently. You'll be surprised at what comes back after quite a short span of time. I always found that if I had a intensive rehearsal, like 2 days in a row or something, after a long period of not playing, I would find that the first rehearsal would feel awful. Then the next day it was like, the flow's kind of back a little bit, which we like. We like that. And also other Emma likes that too. Yeah, I thought so. I've got to entertain myself somehow. The loneliness of not having the one and only ILONA with me is honestly quite something. But it is quite nice being able to get a word in. She can't get at me because she's not here. Where are we? Mine's 2000, doing pad workout as we speak. What's your favourite rudiment and pattern to work on? Well, I think if anyone who knows me was to answer this, they'd probably say 6-stroke rolls or paradiddles. But honestly, I've been getting more into flams recently in the times I have been playing. Who was it? Oh, I've forgotten his name now. The drummer from Arch Echo. I interviewed him at Rehab a couple of weeks ago. He showed me some cool flam applications. Actually, why not? I'll show you them. Seeing as we're here, why not? Excuse me. Let's see if I can get an angle where you can actually see the snare drum. Maybe I'll stand up or something. I don't know if I can even stand up. This is the snare stand from the F-Note Mini. Ooh, and it's so small, so mini, that you can't even see it. But basically, it's triplets. Right, left, right, left, right, left. And you either start... Oh, what was it? Oh, what was it? That's annoying. I'm going to have to find it. Was it that? It's not just flam triplets. It was something else. It might have been flam... I'll find out for you. I literally wrote this down not that long ago. I need to do a video on it, but I haven't got it down enough yet, so bear with me. I wrote it very neatly on a whiteboard that wasn't so neat. Aha! Yes, it was flam triplets. Yes. So you basically move the triplet, so on the first note of the triplet, then the second note of the triplet, and the third note of the triplet. I think the third note of the triplet isn't very practical, if I remember rightly. Which anyone who doesn't know anything about flams, is going to be deeply interesting and insightful, I'm sure. Anyway, back to the questions. Pad workout. So yeah, flam stuff is my favourite probably at the moment. Lisa Bell, I'm in the beginning stages. I'm curious, what do you recommend for stick hand control / placement? The proper way to hold the sticks. Are they two separate questions? Curious about what you recommend for stick hand control. Yeah, I think it is one question. So it depends on the stick. If you've got Vic Firth, then you put the thumb on the American flag. But honestly, you just go kind of, what's that? A third of the way up, between a third and a quarter of the way up. And the more important part is your grip in here. So you don't want it too tight, but that is where your grip is coming from. And the fingers wrap around. You don't want any of this. No magic wand. Because it feels like you have control, but you actually lose motion by doing that. And the important thing is actually this gap in here. When you're just starting to play, this will just stay closed most of the time. But when we start getting into doubles and stuff, when we open the stick, you may notice there's a bit more of a gap in there. And we want to be able to utilise that when we get our bounce and stuff. And then we use the fingers for power and your doubles and your fast singles and all that malarkey. Can I make this chat any bigger? Because I cannot see. Yeah, look at that. Tech whiz. Yep. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention right in the beginning, exciting news. On the 31st, I need to check if it's free or not, we're doing a workshop with the lovely Travis, who is basically going to talk about how to tune snare drums, which I am very excited for personally, because I feel like I know absolutely nothing and have learnt how to blag my way through tuning my entire drumming existence. So I'm very excited to talk to him, and if you want to catch that, then just sign up wherever you normally sign up for our workshop. That's probably in the top of the Instagram, somewhere like that. I'm not like ILONA, where it's like she knows exactly where everything is because she built the website and the webpage and linked everything accordingly. I just know it'll be where most of our links normally are. So I trust and believe in you. You've got this. 31st. I think it's going to be 6 p.m. UK time. Double check that as well. Don't trust. In fact, just don't actively don't trust a word I say. It's probably for the best. It's a great piece of advice. James Peterson, is that Jimpy bass or Gimpy bass? That's the question. I'm a bass player, and I'd love to know, what are your pet hates or things you love about other members of the band? And are there any drum things that I should learn as a bassist? Rudiments for bass. Well, paradiddles, to be honest, and combinations thereof will be good for slap and all sorts of stuff, because you can do right, left, right. There's so much stuff, and you can incorporate like using your fingers for the pop and stuff like that. So yes, I'd say learning some linear or hand-to-hand pattern combinations is definitely going to be helpful. In terms of anything I hate, there's no specific musician thing that I hate. I think as a band collectively, something I find really important and that can be discouraging sometimes is if you're playing in a band and everyone's just like this, or they're off in their own world. And because I'm the drummer, I'm sat down, I'm stuck kind of behind the kit. I can't, wander over to people and kind of get them enthused. So if I see a performance, it's kind of going a little bit and flatlining a little bit. There's not a lot I can do apart from just ham up what I'm doing, which may also just create more contrast between what the other people are doing. So it's a bit, I'd say it's probably one of the only things. And what do I love about other members of the band? I just love music in general and the interaction between musicians as you're playing. That's what I'd say I love the most. Looking forward to this week's free ebook, says Jessie. Also, hello, Jessie. How we doing? Using singles and doubles in context. It seems pretty easy on the left foot and might get me motivated. Singles and doubles in context. Are we talking about in grooves? Singles and doubles, or are we talking about fills? I should know what the upcoming ebook is, but honestly at this point there's been so many ebooks that I don't know what's happening anymore. I don't know. Have we got a I don't know? I don't think I have an I don't know, but we do have a little me. There we go. Your day is better now. You can't deny it. Right. Now is Mark Sage? I'd love to know how you pronounce that one. Hi, I'm 67 and play the drums in a covers band. Nice one. It's definitely getting harder to play some of the fast tracks. Could you suggest any exercises I could do other than playing? I was actually talking to a student about this who's not that much older than me, but he's, I think, mid-40s. I think he said he was anyway, or getting towards his 40s. And he was starting to get like ligament things and just becoming more conscious of it. And it made me very conscious of the fact that because I'm, only 26 right now, I don't have much advice when it comes to ailments and other stuff like that and getting older and how to best, approach that, apart from, yes, try and push for higher speeds and try and get your technique as good as you can get it and be as relaxed as humanly possible and play consistently to maintain your stamina. There's all that good stuff that I think probably seems obvious enough. But past that, I don't actually know for certain. Without seeing you play and seeing your technique and seeing what specific areas can be tweaked, don't actually know. But actually, if you would like some advice on that, I don't know if you've seen one of our live streams before, but I don't think it's open right now, but you can sign up for the waiting list for our free coaching course, and you can have a chat with one of our drum tutors about specifically what might help you, especially as you're getting a bit older. Oh God, we've jumped. Well, God, so many comments. Hi, Justin. I've just seen your comment of hi, Emma. So I'm saying hi, Justin. One of our, what kind of member are we? I think a member of some description, which is good. Oh, Andrew. Hello, Andrew. Sorry. Again, I'm quite far back in the chat, so bear with me. Yes, I'm so pleased there's going to be a free snare tuning workshop. Yes, I'm excited. I cannot wait, because we had a chat with someone quite a while ago and made a video, but it never came out. And I wanted to do a tuning thing for a very long time since that. Lynn, I know you're probably already gone, but thank you so much for joining. You go rest while that baby kicks all your internal organs, apparently. Has a punch up with your liver. Rotisserie pancake. How can I develop gecko fingertips for that anti-slip grip? Well, I have never had too much of a problem. I remember when I was very, very early on, my parents bought me this stuff. I think it was called Gorilla Snot. I know, that's such a... talk about man marketing. But it was like a pot this big, and it just had the goopiest stuff that meant the sticks just did not come off your hands. Never used it ever, really, because if your grip is good, I mean, it depends on how much you sweat as well, I guess, in your hands. If you've got sweaty hands, then you might have a bigger problem. But there's things like active grip sticks. You can also wrap your own sticks with I don't know what, I think it might even be medical, like bandage stuff. I don't actually know, but there'll be a ton of stuff online about things you can do about that. Andrew, I bought one of those TuneBot devices. Is that one of the ones you just stick on the lug and it helps you tune it to a specific frequency? I'd like to know how you get on with that, because I have wondered if it's worth my time. Jam and Jesse, one of my favourite chops, or I guess mini fills perhaps, is kick flam on the snare, kick, snare, and floor tom. Blah, 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 I think that's right. This is what I do when I'm trying to figure stuff out, by the way, just so you know. It is, I think we're all the same. We have to mime it. Blah, blah, boom. But it's, do you do snare in the left? Fun. I like it. Yes, Andrew, I am in fact ILONA today, but you probably missed the fact that I have a mini me with me, so don't you worry. All is well. I'm not lonely. I'll talk to myself, it's fine. Jacob says, I've never not harvested a pallet. Honestly, now I've moved out and I have free will, I'm kind of overwhelmed with the options I have in terms of things I can just do. I mean, I could have done it when I was at home, I guess. But now I can just go out and do stuff, and I love it. Where are we? Hello from the Song Kitchen in Diamond Head, says Bradley. MS. Where is MS? I don't know where that is. Is it Massachusetts? I don't know. Thanks for all your helpful lessons. Man sextuplet and paradiddle diddles are something I should have learned way sooner. Yes. I appreciate it. It took me a long time to read the comment, and then my feedback was one word, but yes. Sorry, just catching up with the chat, bear with. Moulded in Clay, just want to say thanks for your good content. You're welcome. Gorilla Snot. I hope it wasn't chunky. Yeah. It kind of, I think because I had it for so long, it probably did get chunky after a while. But it was disgusting. Honestly, never used it. I think I might even still have it. Maybe somewhere in a pot. That tiny, evil pot. Rotisserie chicken. I'm not going to even read that. I don't think there needs to be video evidence of me just saying that out loud. There's enough in my videos that you could turn into a euphemism, honestly. And if you think I'm not conscious of it every time, I am conscious of it every time. Cameron Lee Cooper, hi, I really like your lessons. I have a question. Are digital drum pads any good? That is such a broad question, and seeing as it's just me, I'm going to answer it. It depends entirely on what you want to do. For most people, and most of the people here in said chat, probably, yeah, if you're a new drummer, if you are worried about sound issues and being too loud, if you want tons of different options for what your drum kit can sound like, and something that kind of fits almost any budget and in a smaller space, electronic drums, probably what you want to go for. However, you do then have to be conscious of a few things that are lacking. I don't know why I'm wearing these headphones. I don't actually need them on. Things like learning feel on the kit. You kind of miss out on that because, especially if you have mesh heads or rubber pad heads, they are more bouncy and a bit more forgiving, which can maybe help you to begin with, but also means that you don't develop the feel and potentially the muscular stamina and strength to play the same thing on acoustic. Also, you don't learn, or it can be easier to mislearn, kind of dynamics and volume in your hands. Say you've always got the electric drum kit in your head, in your ears, really nice and quiet, because otherwise it's really loud and it hurts my ears. And then you're playing the kit massively overplaying or playing too loud or whatever. When you get on a real kit, you just won't be able to play quietly. So, and you can do vice versa. You can be playing it really loud and just tapping the thing. So there's just a number of things you kind of have to be conscious of, which is why it is useful if you're going to go electric, which is still amazing. Just make sure you have maybe some lessons or some time on a real kit. Just make sure you develop that feel, because I've used electric kits my entire life, really, from the age of like 8 to now. So that's quite some time. I do have an acoustic kit, and I have spent time on acoustic kits, but I'd love to see the hour-to-hour ratio of one or the other, because, yeah, it was vital. The time I've had on acoustic has been vital. You need both, really. Where are we at? US, I forgot to say, MS is Missouri or Mississippi. Ah, interesting. So you've got MS for the same... You've got the same letters for 2 different places. That definitely won't get confusing. David L., are those 50th anniversary Audio-Technica headphones? Blue-grey accent. I don't know if they're 50th anniversary or not. But they are the 88 M50Xs. I kind of... I go back and forth as to whether I should have got corded or Bluetooth. I go betwixt the two, because sometimes the headphone cable annoys me. Rotisserie pancake, in terms of stick grip and not dropping the stick. I found cheap grips that have finger rings. I've found possibly the best anti-purist tool of any instrument. What are cheat grips? I don't know what those are. Vismac, what software do you recommend for electronic drums? Well, you shouldn't need software. If you're just sitting at the kit and that's it, and you're just practicing drums, maybe playing to your favourite songs, whatever, that has literally everything built into it, or it should do. If you're trying to record, or let's say you buy yourself a really cheap kind of crap electronic drum kit, but you're using it so you can record drums in MIDI, for example, into a DAW, then you want something like... I personally have Stephen Slate, but you can use... there's a lot of them, and can I remember? Fairlight, I think. Is it Fairlight or is it Fairview? I can't actually remember. There's a lot of different drum sample simulators that you can use. There's so many. And you can program them yourself if you really want to. But I'm quite a fan of presets. So I just like to go boop and it's sorted. And honestly, for most beginners, you don't need to be thinking about that too much. Democast. Hola, Benita. Hello. Do you play guitar? I kind of know my way around a guitar, sort of. I'm not able to play guitar. However, the quality of said playing is not up to par to where I would like it to be. I could probably learn a guitar part, but it will be sloppy, if that makes sense. And I can kind of noodle around the pentatonic scale. That's kind of, I'm one of them. Same with piano, really. I can kind of blag a little bit. I'm better with piano than I am guitar, because guitar is a whole different beast. And playing it well is a whole different beast on top of that. Paul Warburton. RE electric drums. Are they easy to set up? And if things go wrong technically, how easy are they to fix? Would someone, me, not technically gifted, be better off steering clear? Again, this comes back to where do you want to be using it? Because I haven't gigged like a lot with electric drums. I think I did one run of theatre gigs using my TD3. Yeah, old stuff. And it was fine. I haven't been able to like extensively use, I mean, most of my life I've used Roland, so I had the TD3 and then the TD30. So both of them never ever went wrong. I've had both of them for going on 10, 15 years and they've never had any problems as far as I can tell. Literally, like, never had any problems. I'd say the one gripe, I'm talking about going to F note, most of the F note kits do have traditional stands, but for some reason the 3X, and I don't know about the other ones, they have this weird, they're trying to be clever, and I appreciate cleverness, but the stands, if you're trying to do gigs and be portable and stuff, I've used it for events and things like that, they have this kind of weird foot thing that goes into it, and you have to have a whole nut and bolt situation, and you could just so easily lose these bolts. Like, it's a silly design, really. So there's some questionable stuff out there, but as long as everything's got kind of vaguely traditional stands, should be fine. The Roland stuff, because I can kind of vouch for that, they come in, well, they can have these quite bulky frames that you can just wrap around itself once you've set it down, kind of like a foldable bike, really. All the cables kind of and all. When I think I ended up with the frame for the more fancy one than I think the TD50 or something, but then had a TD30 or something. I don't know what happened, but basically because it's all pipe framed, my dad ended up weaving all the cables on the inside, so it was a lot cleaner as well. Because that's another gripe I have about electric kits, is it's cables everywhere. But if something goes wrong, you can just change the cable. I don't know if that makes it easier or harder than changing a head on a drum. But yes, goes back to the classic answer of it depends what you want to use it for. Andrew, thank you so much for joining. I'm sure you've probably left already, but peace. Cameron Lee Cooper, would I'm guessing you mean Alesis, maybe, be better? I can't vouch for Alesis. I have heard varying opinions. I've only, I think, ever used the really cheap kit, so I can't really, we can just throw that in the bin immediately, because that was not, they were not good and they were very beat up. So I don't actually know, genuinely. But I've never gone wrong with Roland, really. With F Note, the only issue is that they're really expensive in comparison, and they don't really have any beginner kits. So it's if budget is no problem, I'd look into F Note because they are cracking. Wicked Chicken. I don't know if you've been in, I feel like you might have been in one of our live streams before, but props on the name, man. I love it. Ooh. Yeah, dude. Andrew's probably already gone, but I'll have to watch Guthrie Govan. My other half would be very jealous. I would happily go and see Guthrie Govan. I've forgotten, what was I listening to? Whose album was I listening to? that he was playing on. That really helps narrow it down, I know. But God, unbelievable guitar player. If you don't know who that guy is, check it out. Sophie Alloway. I feel like I've heard that name before. I'm going to look up who that is. I've finally reached the bottom of the chat. I can't believe it. I need some more questions, people. Have I seen her before? Have I met her before? I think I might have. Oh, I don't know. No idea. Chris Lark. Hi, Emma. What do you think about cymbals with holes in them? Have you ever played them? If so, how do they differ in sound and feel to cymbals without holes in them? Well, all the holes in the cymbals I've ever had have been unintentional holes, and they do not sound good. But when there are intentional holes in the cymbal, they are good. It depends, really. And I know that's the answer to most of them. Most of the questions where it's quite subjective. I haven't played enough of them to give you a good answer. I think, if I remember rightly, if they have holes in, they just sound usually a bit quieter, but a bit thinner in sound. Not necessarily a bad thing. They can be quite fun to play. I do wonder about the durability of them, though. You know, you see the ones that have, like, tons of holes in. There's more hole than cymbal, you know. I really want to get one of those, like, curly-whirly things. I might do that with one of my very, very, very dead cymbal. Rotisserie pancake. I don't understand why some people have such a strong negative opinion about Guthrie Govan. Nor do I. I don't get it. He's just crack as a player. Like, he's insane. Maybe people are jealous of his hair or something. Regina, hi from France. Hello. How is it over in France? Is it equally as hot over there? Probably. Mine's 2000. Do you have or drum in a band? If so, what genre? Well, there's two main ones. There is me and Ilona's band, this one. Ilona Mayu, which should be, if you want to find our stuff, I think I could also just put it in the chat, can't I? Ilona Mayu. No, Mehe. Let's try that again. Mehe. There we go. Every time. And there is also Bryony Dunn and The Forest, which is the one I'm a bit more active with. And that's more kind of 70s-esque, but folk, but also pop, but also a bit psychedelic, but also it's just a lot of fun. And it's a really good time. Do a lot of BVs in that one, which is really fun. Just right. Emma, if an artist or producer doesn't have industry connections but is making great music independently, what would you say is the smartest way to get noticed today? I mean, as I'm not particularly in that specific vein, it's quite hard to say. I have a feeling the answer is probably social media, which is, you know, of course I'm going to say that because look at what I do for a living. But honestly, in terms of as many eyeballs seeing you as possible and being able to do it independently, if the stuff is good and you keep doing it consistently, that's the kicker, to be honest. Keeping it fresh. I've forgotten his name, but he keeps getting called like a new Bob Dylan, but he's not Bob Dylan, he's just his own thing. He's a guy with kind of like a mullet, and he's often standing in a field with an acoustic guitar singing songs that are vaguely, well, usually quite political. And he seems to just come out with them like nobody's business. And it's the quantity as well as the quality that is just, I think, makes him so successful and so noticeable. Probably having a strong image that looks pretty damn good helps as well in talking about, you know, doing social media and stuff. And it's I can't lie, social media is tough. It can be, especially for us lovely artists. I'm guessing who you're talking about is also you. It's a tough one. I don't have the answers, but I would say posting consistently good content. I know that's a really boring answer, but it's true. Coming up with a format you can repeat, that will help a lot. And also edit minimally. Don't overthink it. Just start posting stuff. Paul Warburton, rods. I believe you don't like them. But if you have to play quietly, neighbours, any recommendations? I'm currently using Pro Cool. I don't know what that is. But, I mean, you could, instead of playing with rods, because that will also change your feel and the bounce and all that stuff, and you want to be able to hit the kit, you can get the silent heads. Is it Remo or Evans? That have the silent heads and also the cymbal. I know it can be a bit expensive, but if you want to stay on acoustic instead of going electric, then you probably want to go that direction instead of playing with rods, because rods just feel naff. I know I have a strong opinion about this, but it's because I'm right. They feel naff. If you're wearing a cat shirt, says David L., I respect your game. Not just any cat shirt. I love it. I saw it. It was an impulse Instagram purchase, I'll admit. But look. It's a big, round, fat cat eating noodles. You can't blame me. You can't blame me for buying that immediately. I was like, it's straight in my basket. Like I said, I'm on a wave today. It's probably because I'm talking to myself. The echo chamber is doing bits. Where are we? There we are. Chris Lark, would you ever consider doing videos on other kinds of percussion like cowbells and timbales? I was thinking about it for a little while, and then I went to NAMM this last January and met up with Axel. I've forgotten his name, but he owns a company called WTF Percussion, and he's so cool. He's really long, straight hair and a cool mustache, and he is a really good percussion player. And I met another guy whose name escapes me right now, but they started teaching me how to play timbales, bongos, whatever, and also the cabasa thing. And I was just kind of like, this is a whole realm, a skill set that I do not have. However, we did do some videos together. I just haven't got around to editing them, quite frankly. They are sat there, but the priorities keep getting piled in front of said other videos. So I want to get them out, but I don't know when those will come out, basically. They are very interesting, though. Jamming Jessie, Chris Lark, I've been saying we should donate for her to buy a double pedal and do a video series showing how to learn. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while. I feel like I should just approach a pedal company and ask them to send me one and give me the excuse of doing it. The other thing I'm finding, and I'm saying this because I feel like it's probably a shared experience, but especially as a drummer who has been playing a while, I've been feeling quite uninspired playing an electric kit that's quite small, and I feel like I have to play quietly all the time. So I haven't been playing really as much as I would like to. So an excuse to get back into that would be really handy. Something like playing double pedal would be quite a fun one. Quite a new... I don't know when I'd actually apply it, but it can't be a bad thing. A bit of left foot coordination would be useful. And I feel like we can make a good series out of it. Lord knows who's going to edit it. More the bigger question, when? I don't know. I don't know. Blue Bolt, I was in the school band and always loved to play drums. Never really bought one. Been 15 years since I was out of school. Hopefully I'll buy one someday and get to use all your free ebooks. Yes! Yes! I want that for you. I mean, you could also just get yourself a practice pad and just start hitting things. That is also an option. If you're new to this live stream / this channel / everything else, we do free weekly ebooks, which has something new every week for you to be practicing, trying out, giving a go, as if there wasn't enough content out there already. But if you want something different, then sign up for our free weekly ebooks. By the way, on our weekly, is it a weekly? I think it is weekly mailing list that ILONA writes. We try our best to make sure that it's not just one of those, like, gives you loads of crap all the time, literally every day bombarding you with stuff. I don't think we might be able to get content out that quickly, but We just want to make sure it's valuable for people. So we won't send you rubbish, basically, if you sign up for it. Neil Shire. I want to put an N like and call you Snyder, but you're not. I have Evans DB mesh heads for when I really need to quiet things down. They sound really good. They do. I agree. He's right. Mine's 2000. Just checked out Dandelions. Very cool. The drummer is killing it. Well, thank you. Mateus. Hi from Argentina with a lot of exclamations. Hi. I would say it louder, but the mic will peak. Scott Grumpy. Great channel. I started drumming at the age of 61 after 3 strokes. Oh my God. Good on you. Hell yeah. I have a goal and I'm learning the skills to reach that goal, plus some rudiments. Great for rehab and super fun. Yes, it is fantastic for neurological stuff. So keep it up. And also let me know in other live streams if you catch them, how you're doing and getting on. Is there anything specific you've found that has helped you the most, Scott, in terms of exercises and stuff? Have you seen any progression in, physical coordination and abilities and stuff like that? After having played drums, was there something that unlocked anything for you? I'm curious. Neil Shire, sorry. As for low volume cymbals, I bought a set of Mosicos on Amazon for 60 quid, or $60, I should say. Hi-hat is great. Obviously not great for a gig. Good to know, because I always thought the low volume cymbals were really expensive. I might be wrong on that. I might be spreading misinformation. God forbid. There we go. Jamming Jesse. Here again. Back at it. Putting in his shift. By the way, if you're new here, please leave a like. Yes, please do. Help a girl out. And if you want to join the YouTube membership, we try to do, schedules permitting, weekly live streams, just chatting and kind of catching up with you. Usually the lovely Ilona is here also, and then we get derailed and talk about Tumblr for some reason. It happens. But yes, it would help us out a lot if you joined the membership. You can. The YouTube membership is more a way of just kind of giving us a little bit of support, buying me a coffee, buying some of the team a coffee. But if you want to see more of what we offer in terms of bigger scale stuff, then check out the Love to Learn Drums website. This live stream malarkey is quite difficult. Reading and thinking about what you're going to say and being stream of consciousness while also answering the previous question without any dead space. It's quite a thing. How long we got? We've got 12 minutes. Let's see how many more questions we can answer. Mateus, we bought an F Note 3 in church, and that's what you play now. Okay, cool. How are you finding it? Because I have a 3X, so I'm curious to know. Because for a little while, I had an F Note Pro given to me on loan to review, and a lot of the kind of marketing behind it and stuff pointed it towards more churchy stuff. So I'm curious to know how you're getting on with the lower part of the range. Not that it's that much lower. It's still amazing quality. How you're getting on with it. Chris Lark, do you get calluses on your hands when you first started drumming? Is that a common thing for drummers? You know what? I feel like if I was gigging or on tour more regularly, I might start to get stuff, especially if I were doing something more intensive, like I'm in a wedding band that is very high energy. And by the end of it, sometimes if you catch it wrong or you just got the wrong grip that day or something's just a bit awry, you do end up with blisters and stuff like that. But that's just from overplaying probably. But things like Bryony's band, it's all such relaxed, even if it's fast, it's all quite loose stuff. So I don't really get them that much really. Maybe if I was playing more intensely. But yes, just to answer the other question, it can be common for drummers. I've seen some of the guys who are out on tour doing crazy stuff, especially the metal guys. They end up with some wild stuff going on. Scott Grumpy, my goal is to play Rosanna, and yes, it really helps balancing weak and strong hand issues. Interesting. I mean, Rosanna is a tough one. Are you using the video we put out recently about that? Because I've had some good feedback on that and I'm very happy about it because I've wanted to do that video for a very long time. Rotisserie pancake last week to you two were stepbrothers. Yes. Yes. We can go with first cousins if you like. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. Ghost demon. Are the double stroke techniques like a pressure thing or really a finger wiggle technique thing? What I love about that question is I know exactly what you mean. You wouldn't think that that would make sense, but it does. It is, I hate to say it, it's a bit of both. Let me think about it. Because you need a little bit of pressure for that initial downstroke to get it, you know, to put the kind of energy into the stick that you need to get the bounce you need. You need to put a little bit of into it, but you're never pressing in because that will end up as more of like a buzz. So you'll end up with more notes than you want and the doubles won't be as clean. So what you want, pressure on the way in, let the stick bounce up. Notice how my wrist hasn't moved. Yeah, that takes some training in if you aren't doing that already. So impact. Wrist doesn't move. Stick comes up though, so that requires some work with grip if you aren't already doing that. And then it's the fingers that come down for the second note. So bat, bat. So it is fingers on the way for the second one. And as you're doing those fingers, you also lift with the wrist to then swing back for the next hit, which sounds very complicated, but it's not too bad. So down, this comes up. Close with the fingers as you're lifting to go up for another hit. Obviously it won't come up because I'm not hitting a drum. But yeah, it's a bit of both. Soz. Jam and Jesse. Yes, recovering from partial paraplegia due to spinal injury and using drums as my physical rehab. Yes, you two should connect. Trade exercises. Have a little practice partner. You guys in the same country? Scott, where are you from? Chris Lark, this is my first time here. And yes, I did leave a like. Thank you, Chris. Much appreciated. Every like is needed. Mine's 2000. What grips are you most comfortable with? When it comes to this stuff, I don't really know. I think, is German the one that's in the middle? I think American might be the one that's in it. I don't know. Does it matter? Not really. I know French is the one with thumb on top, and the only time I really end up using that, if at all, is when I'm over on the ride cymbal, because sometimes it's a bit more comfortable. Most of the time, I've got my hand kind of halfway house, instead of being, you know, all the way in and over the top. It's more in between the two, betwixt the two, if you will. Robles. Good name. Or Robbles. It depends on how you want to pronounce it. What are some fun songs to play along to? Whew. I mean, you can't go wrong with a bit of disco. It gets a bit dry after a while, but if you're trying to just get in with a groove, that can be pretty fun. I like a bit of disco. I don't have a specific song. I don't play specific anything, really. Jesse, did clone Emma fall asleep beneath the bed frame, beneath the frame again? I think you got all her beans out. She heard what you said. She has nothing to say about that. Apart from that. Nice. Thing is, when Ilona's back, I don't need the extra person, but I want to do more of them. Start. Finally able to catch one of these. Woohoo! Only one question. What is a good way to build stamina, endurance with the kick? I've been playing for about 3 months and play metal. A lot of double bass. Cool. You're not going to like this answer. Minus the obvious technical aspect, it is a case of just keep going. Because after 3 months, that's not very long at all to be playing drums. Like, give yourself a break. Do short bursts of fast kick and plenty of time at low level that you can maintain without much strain or effort. What was it? There was a student of mine actually recommended Jojo Mayer's kick thing. Oh, what was it? Let me find it for you. And he covers all the techniques. I don't know if he talks about double pedal, but the techniques themselves. Like literally he talks about swivel, he talks about heel toe, he talks about all of that stuff. Let me... Jojo... It would help if I even put that right. There we go. It's like... what is it? I will find it. I don't want a masterclass. I want his... nearly there. Nearly. We'll get it. Secret Weapon of the Modern Drummer 2. There we go. Jojo Mayer's Secret Weapons of the Modern Drummer 2. Highly recommend. Haven't watched it through yet, but from what my student said, and he was struggling to play 2 kicks in a row, anywhere above 80 BPM, all of a sudden it has clicked for him. So if you want to be working on some kick stuff, check that out. Scott Grumpy. North Dakota is where he lives. No one lives here. Just you. You are the single person who lives in North Dakota. Someone had to do it. And East Tennessee. How far away are those two? I don't know. I have no idea. I feel like Tennessee is south. Am I right? North Dakota. And then let's get a map out. Maps. That's not how you spell maps. So we've got North. I'm just curious now. Dakota to... Where are you again? Tennessee. This is really interesting for you, I know. Come on, maps. I just want to see how far away. That's a long way. Oh my God. Good Lord. Practically different sides of the country. Well, still the time zone difference is not as bad as here to there, so go chinwag. Go talk. Wicked Chicken. What was the correction in the Rosanna video? You got 2 minutes before making the video. Right. It's actually quite a small thing. It was just that it's actually a 2-bar phrase. So I always thought it was dum to that, dum that. So on that last snare drum, the second time round, there's a kick drum with it. So dum, dum that, boom, dum, or whatever. Is it pushed twice? I can't even remember. But yeah, you end up with a bass drum on the 4 as well. That was the one. And I was like, ah! And I was just following what Dan from Drummers and told me on that one, to be honest. So hopefully it's right. Let me get to some more questions. Ghost Demon, can you do it on a pillow? I'm learning on a Zoltan Marshmallow pad. Emma's going to have to Google it again. Zoltan Marshmallow pad? Oh, it's one of those. Ooh, interesting. I mean, it's probably good for hand strength and grip stuff. Yeah, no one... Yeah, so I would, if you're trying to practice doubles, practice on something that gives you something back. Because until you've got the technique down, trying to do it on something that is pillowy / just absorbs all the bounce, that's going to be, I'd say, actively impossible to actually learn the technique right. So I'd try on an actual bouncy pad. In fact, if it's too bouncy, that also is a good thing. Like, it just gives you a bit of extra, and then you can apply it to something less bouncy. Things like, you know, if you're trying to practice doubles on a massive floor tom, for example, it just gives you nothing back. It's really difficult. Apple Bottom. Love that name. Amazing. What's your opinion on air drums for beginners? I'm not sure I know what that means. If you're talking about devices where you can drum in the air, I'm not convinced. Things like, you know, they're like sticks that make noises apparently, and they're just gimmicks. I'm almost certain that they're just gimmicks. Sorry, just scanning through, lads. I air drum all the time. I mean, there isn't anything particularly. If we're just talking about air drumming, it's okay. You're allowed. No one can stop you. You've got hands and you've got some air, so you may as well air drum. Why not? I've actually never been one for that. Never been a tapper. Never been anything. Maybe I'm just a bit weird, but does that surprise anyone at this point? Would you ever consider, Chris Lark again, hello, consider videos of you playing with your bands with ILONA / O'Brien for your website to show what it's like for drummers during a gig? Honestly, yeah, I mean, I have footage of, I think, all of the bands. I need to do some fresh footage from Bryony's band. But I also have, I don't know if, I think I had when I was on tour with Ariel, I had some footage from those gigs as well. And I kind of wanted to put it out, but I just didn't want to encroach on, it's her material. So I don't want to do that if she doesn't want that. But yeah, I'd be down for putting up some. I want to do some more tutorials on some of the grooves that I play in some of the songs. I've done one of the ILONA ones, the ribcage groove, and then I did kind of a loose one on the Bryony one, which is June, the song June, which is really just a good pop banger, really. But I was talking about the intro. But there's some stuff we've written recently that isn't out yet that's got some cool grooves on it, so I may as well break them down. So I might do that, actually. That reminds me. I'm going to put that on my videos to film list. Ooh. Well, I do have one. It's a song called... I'm not going to tell you what it's called. Because it's not out yet. Need to remember how to play the groove, probably, on the record. Cool. Jay Holmer recently got F Note 3X. Any tips on playing electronic hi-hats? Oof. Well, the 3X, the hi-hat on that is pretty good, to be honest. And they're getting better all the time. It is tricky, though. It's taken a long time for them to get hi-hats right. Just make sure you have, what's the word? Calculated it. Calibrated. That was the one. Calibrated it. That should be in the settings somewhere. Just make sure it behaves itself, essentially. And you should be golden. There's not too much advice that's different to how you'd approach it. I think you just have to be more accurate with electronic kits and really put it where you want it. And maybe sometimes you have to open your foot a bit more dramatically than you would, just to make sure it registers compared to on acoustic kits. But maybe that's just what got programmed into me, because the hi-hat on the Roland TD30 wasn't as good as it could have been. Applebottom, what do you suggest for beginners then? Because I'm very interested in playing drums and have a Yamaha DD65. Not satisfied with it though. Doesn't give the feel. What was your question before? I mean, ooh. Well, maybe scroll back and listen to what I said about electronic drums in general. There's no specific drum kit that I recommend as in by name. Roland as a brand in terms of low level stuff is very good. You can also get lots of secondhand stuff that's very good. If you want feel, I mean, I do love the Roland TD30, but that's because I've spent so long playing it for a long time. If budget is no problem, then F Note might be the winner for you. And also, Zildjian's recently brought out one that has real cymbals on it, which I tried in Paris a little while ago because I went to the Paris Drum Show, and which makes me sound very la-di-da, but it's because Chris lives in Paris, and that was pretty good, but still either the high-end Roland or an F note still pipped it at the post to me anyway, even though you got real cymbal feel, so it's kind of up to you really. And also, if you're looking for something to practice, you can actually, if we're talking about air drums, if you want something you can do, download the new Drummers Toolkit, because it has really simple stuff in it that you could play on your lap, essentially, if you really wanted to. That should be, let's see if I can actually get it up for you. Where would it be? See, again, ILONA knows where all of this lives, whereas Muggins here just writes it and throws it in her direction and prays it all goes right. Which he usually does, because ILONA's amazing, as we all know. Good. No disagreement. No disagreement there. Can I just put that link in there? Maybe. I'm going to do it. Yeah. Let's do that. That's the new Drummers Toolkit. Oh, is that the one I wanted? No. Okay. Why is it doing that? Let's just make sure you guys aren't going to mess that up. I might remove that. And then put a different one in. Be nice. Don't steal it. Let me just get you the actual link. New drummers. It's free anyway, so it's not like you're nicking anything. Boff. There we go. Let's do that. There you go. Rotisserie pancake. The one thing with on my e-kick that doesn't satisfy me in the same way is the hi-hats. Yes, yeah, I agree. Hi-hats are really difficult to simulate with electronic drums. Ghost Demon, can you recommend a practice pad, especially for doubles and is quiet? I'm going to throw my Zoltan pad away. I mean, you don't have to throw it away. Once you got the technique down, it's really good. There is, again, and let me just quickly look this up. So there's multi-surface practice pads. Kind of like, I think Drummio do it. But I think you can also get an off-brand one as well. Yeah, something like that. If you want to try different surfaces and it just keeps you a bit more entertained, you know, you can do a bit of that. If it wants to just... Can I just... Multi-surface practice pad. Beautiful. Right, there we go. Something like that. Or just get the Evans one. Oh, it's... can't give you that link. Just look up multi-surface practice pad. I can't give you it because the characters are so long. There's 625 characters too many. So that's a no. Scott Grumpy, I have a cheap Gretsch set and low volume heads and cymbals makes a great set to practice on quietly. Yes. I suspect it does. The only thing is that, you know... It's just a pain to change it over again to full volume stuff, but that's the only thing, really. Anyway, we are 10 minutes over. I can't believe it. That's gone very quickly. But now I've been talking for an hour straight. I can feel it in my throat. So I will love you and leave you with that. If you have any more questions, throw them at me now. Harry Potter mega fan. I wonder what your interests are. Can you do a painted black on electric drums 42? You know what? Recently, I've been making noise. Well, for a very long time, I've been making noises about doing more of the Drummer Songbook series. And I've been wondering what to cover on it. So, might be a bit of that. Did I just hit my head with carrot seeds? Yes. Yes, I did. Rolling Stones, because we've done well, I haven't done AC/DC because that I can do it, but the issue is copyright. That's the only problem. So I can't play the song in the video to demonstrate. I have to keep kind of reverting back to go on another tab, open the song in another tab, here's the timestamp kind of thing. But yeah, it'd be what it be. Chris Lark, would you ever consider doing a video covering Rosanna by Toto, either Bryony or ILONA, to show drummers how to do it? I mean, I've done the tutorial on the YouTube channel just recently of how to play it, but I haven't done a full playthrough. I actually tried to, I think at the end it might be there, I was trying to sing it and play it, which can just just about do. Maybe not the verses or the whole way through, but we can get through it. Applebomb, can I just say thank you for all your videos? It puts a smile on my face. We love to hear that. And I really love the way you teach. It's so fun. Thank you so much. And you're from India. Amazing. Right, you lovely lot. I will see you, I think, next week. Don't hold me to that. What has our Lord and Saviour ILONA told us we are doing? I think it is next week. All being well. So hopefully I'll see you all there. And I will see you... Well, I'll see you there. All right, bye, guys. Bye-bye.